Hello guys, I'm glad to have you back on another episode of The Relatable with Pistola. So today I'm so excited because we'll be talking about how to market shamelessly. The goal of every entrepreneur is to, sell so hugely and then make a lot of profits. Well, how then can one achieve this other than through shameless marketing? What do I mean by shameless marketing? Come along with me and let's find out. Well, when you have a product that you intend to market, be it a physical product or a digital product, I believe that you should market shamelessly to achieve a huge profit. How then do we begin to market shamelessly? Number one is creating value. Yes, the first thing you need to do is to create value through your social media handles. You should be able to tell stories people can relate with. Create a community where people feel secured and then feel that you're not there to defraud them. Yes, once they can confidently trust you, they can confidently buy from you. And to create this community, you need to be there every day. You can't tell story today and then for a few days you're no longer there. No, you need to be there for them. But so is start a campaign. When trying to sell a product, you just have to be like a Nigerian politician. So how do you then go about this shameless marketing? How do you go about this campaign? Well, you could create a t-shirt, you could create a logo, you could create a slogan. So you really need to create a campaign, just like our politicians. Be very strategic. Our politicians would use street rally to town hall meetings. All of these are things that you can adopt as a business person and then learn from. Yes, you could use all of your social media handles. You could go from firm to firm. You could talk to friends. You could talk to people to help you share. And then you could run adverts. You could do landing pages. All of these are there to just put you out there and make sure that people can see your products. The more people can see your products, the more people can see how radical you are about marketing, then be sure that you make huge sales. And number three is talk about your vulnerability stories. Stories are dear to the heart, and when we talk about our vulnerability story, it helps propel pity and empathy from our community or from our followers, such that they can actually buy because most of them can relate to your stories. You're wondering what kind of stories you can tell. Stop forming I'm a very strong woman, I'm an independent woman, I'm that macho woman. No. When you're going to have to achieve shameless marketing so that you can make huge profit, one thing that you need to do is to be able to tell stories that people can actually relate with, or stories that, people have had similar experiences in their life. You're wondering where you could get your vulnerability stories from. The truth is, stories from divorce stories to miscarriages, stories of miscarriages or experiences of miscarriages, to, being physically abused, to being sexually abused or molested, rape. All of these are stories that people can relate with. A lot of women have gone through a lot, or a lot of men have been molested. A lot of men have. Everyone has been through a lot, and sometimes even if you haven't been through those experiences yourself, you've heard such stories while you were growing up, you've heard such stories at a particular point in your life. So these are stories that you can tell that people can relate with. Vulnerable stories help put empathy in the hearts of people, and then people can then buy from you. A very typical example. I can remember one of the winners of Big Brother Africa, I think in person of Efe. When he won that year, he didn't win because he was so strategic or he was the best out of them. Well, I really do not watch Big Brother, but my point exactly was that he told a vulnerable story, a story from, from grass, that he was coming from virtually nowhere. He told stories that people could relate with. He told how poor he was and how bad his background was. And, a lot of Nigerians felt pity for him. And for that reason, they voted for him and he won that year. So there are a lot of stories that you can tell. The moment you're telling stories around poverty, you're telling stories around anything. I just mean anything. Something that can evoke emotion. Something that can evoke empathy. An entrepreneur who is trying to put his or her product out there or her services, you should be able to tell stories. Tell stories that people can relate with. You've been through some experiences in the past that, showed how vulnerable you were, that showed your weakness. Do not let someone else tell your story for you. Tell your stories yourself. What were some of these things that you went through? Have you ever been depressed? What led to your depression? Have you ever gone through challenges, and what led to these challenges? And how eventually did you come out of them? So tell these stories. People want to hear them. And the good thing about Nigerians is we are humans. No matter how hard or tough the economy is, I love Nigerians. Nigerians will always be their brother's keeper when it comes to giving and being there for one another. So when you tell vulnerable stories, be the rest assured that people will buy your product. In doubt of this strategy, it's a money guaranteed back strategy. Go try it today and then give me a feedback. And the last but not the least is make video often or severally begging people to buy. Sincerely, when you are doing shameless marketing, you are not going to be keeping quiet. You're not just going to be doing Canva flyers. No, you're going to have to make very informative videos, very emotional videos, asking people to buy. Yes, tell stories of how funds made from this particular product could transform your life, or tell stories of how the profits made from this particular service would be used for something very beneficial to the needy. Tell any story. The most important thing is that you're telling stories that could, make people be willing to buy. These are stories that will give your marketing a human face, such that anybody that, just sees the marketing or the video will just be thrilled by what you have said and will be willing to, part away with their money. Yes, Slaughter once said that when she was invited to Tony Elumelu Foundation to talk about her greatest achievement, that a lot of people were writing all sorts, but that then and there she told Tony Elumelu, or at the foundation, she said her greatest achievement, while applying for it, rather, she said her greatest achievement was actually doing something for the poor. I think, was it a borehole or something she was doing something for the very, the poor of the society. And that was her greatest achievement as an entrepreneur in Nigeria. And that was the reason why she was picked over several other people who applied for. I hope you did enjoy today's video. Well, that'll be all for now. Please, if you haven't subscribed, don't remember to hit on the subscribe button and then tap on the notification bell so that as soon as I post a video, you do not get to miss any of my videos. Alright, bye for now.